Welcome to this tutorial on how to create your first MDriven Turnkey site on Azure from Microsoft, which is the best way to run your MDriven Turnkey web app. Now we have two portals. We have the MDriven portal and we have the Azure portal. And we're going to start with creating the site or the server that runs our web app with Azure. Now I click on New and then Web and Mobile and the web app, which is a website, you could say. It's an account on or an app on your IIS, which is an Internet Information Server, which Microsoft has rebranded to App Service Plan, which is basically just the web server. So here I write my MDriven site, and I create a new resource group. It's just something that will hold the different parts of this website when it's running. And because I haven't done anything like this before, I also need to point out a location. I can of course go with South Central US, but that will be a very long way from where I am in Sweden. So I'll create a new one, and I want it in North Europe, and I'll just call it North Europe. And here I can select a different pricing. That's basically how fast you want your server to be. And you can go very cheap, actually without having to pay anything, or you can go with the standard, which is a little bit faster. I have money left in my trial account, so I'll go with the standard. Okay, on that one. So I have my MDriven site, and I have a new resource group, and I have an app service plan. Let's pin this to the dashboard, that is front screen on your Azure login, and click create. It's validating, and then it's deploying. You can see that when it's deploying on the dashboard because we pinned it there. So we'll let that complete and continue later. It takes about 1 to 2 minutes to complete, and then you will see the new MDriven site. Now we need to add a virtual directory. We have two apps running in one site. We have the user interface called Turnkey, and we have the object server, the server that keeps all the database connections and keeps the application running efficiently. So you go to application settings and you scroll all the way down to virtual application and directories, and here we will add another called __ MDriven server, and the physical path will be the same as a root with the addition of the same __ MDriven server. And it's important to click application, otherwise it will not run on its own in the background. And we click save, and the settings are updated. Okay, so now when we have created the site and it's up and running, we go back to the overview and we get what Microsoft called a publish profile. A publish profile is just a small file containing access or a login, password and stuff like that. So we download that one. You can see it downloaded here. Now it's time to go to the MDriven portal. I have logged in here with my account, and then I can go to Views, Show My Turnkey Sites. It's blank. I'm brand new, so I'll register a new site. The site ID is just a name, so I am calling it the same, just to be easy identifiable. My MDriven site. And here I choose the file that I just downloaded. So let's select that one. Downloads and my MDriven site publish settings, and open that one. And then I create the site. Done. And I save the new site to the MDriven portal. Good. So now I go back, and there it is, my new site. You can see here it's registered. Well, that's good, but let's move along and view and manage this site. And here you have now, you can see the two different parts and links to them. You have the MDriven user and the password. That is the MDriven server username and password. But it's nothing there yet. If you visit this site now, if I click here, you can see it's loading a blank site because there's nothing there. Okay, so how do we get this deployed? Well, now with the publishing profile loaded into the portal, we can request a deploy to the Azure site. So we request a deploy and we save the request. You can see here on the state that we have requested the deploy. And after a short while, it will be picked up by the MDriven deployment server, and it will start deploying. There you go. Now it's deploying, and it will take about 1 to 2 minutes, a little bit depending on what kind of server you choose to run this on. But we'll be waiting, and back soon. Okay then, that took about 1 minute. So now the site is deployed, but it's actually not working yet. So if we visit the site again, it's loading, but it's not entirely certain that it will run because there's nothing really working on how to handle things. So it's loading, but it's probably not going to work. So before doing anything else, let's go back and send the settings and restart the site, because these settings that we have made on this page, which could include Facebook client IDs and secrets for logins, need to be sent to the site. So we send settings and restart, and that runs immediately when we click. And now we can save what's happened, and we can see here that it updated the server's web config. Okay. So now we can visit the site again, and it's still loading. But now it completed, and we can see the first page called index. So now you have your site running, and you can start registering users, and then you can log in, and more importantly, you can start the design process. And you do that by just going back here to the portal and start the MDriven designer. If we do that, we will run into this problem down here, because we don't have anything that can kickstart a click once program. So to start the MDriven designer from the site. So let's go and download the Chrome plugin. Here you go, and we add this to Chrome, and we add the extension, and we get this little helper that we need to install. It was very quick, already done, and we can go back, and we go back, and we go back, and then we are here again, and we can start the MDriven designer. And now you can see the application was launched, and we run it immediately. It's downloading. And we get this going in a few seconds. Okay, So we end up here, and here I log in the same way as I did before. I type in the MDriven demo at outlook.com and the password, and remember me, and log in, and then I can refresh my site list and find my MDriven sign. I can download the model, and there you go. I don't have any license, but I can just close this for now because I don't have 50 classes, and here I have my model. So from here it's a modeling session instead. Good luck.